Until you clear out your trauma, it is going to keep preventing you from finding the success you desire. You have a conscious intention, but if you have traumatic stuff going on, if, for example, maybe as something as simple as you weren't the cool kid in high school and you got bullied a lot, if unaddressed, that stuff can follow you throughout the rest of your life. And every time you try to take action towards being a successful, well-liked person, that stuff will cause you to partake in habits or take actions or just act in certain ways that sabotage you, because that thing wants to stay alive. It's like a blind intelligence. Spiritualists call it the old frequency. Some psychologists call it the superego, but it's like this blind intelligence that prevents your consciousness from manifesting its desires. It would rather you jump off a damn cliff like that and kill yourself and take it with it than you leave it behind and go on to live a happy life. Think of it as a very needy ex that will murder you if you try to leave them. That is what your old frequency is. That is what your super ego trauma is. And you need to clear it fully in order to live your dream life. Now, I drew a little diagram of what it looks like. That is a person, and that cloud swirling around his head is the superego, is the old frequency bothering him. He can't get out of it. And there's source consciousness funneling down into him. So this is why spiritual practices, and it could be a religious practice, it could be Christianity or any of the major religions, or just some random weird paganism religion. Like I sport pagan pendants. I don't really practice or anything. But stuff like that gets you closer to source, because all of these practices, by praying or by meditating, allow you to access the divine that you actually are, allow you to access the God consciousness that's actually in you, that's being clouded by this trauma, by this super ego old frequency cloud around your body, swirling around in your energy field. And those whispers you get after you pray and meditate and be present allow you to discern what is your authentic self's voice and what is your trauma's voice. And those practices also allow you to discern, especially meditation. It causes you to notice the patterns in your thoughts and notice how those thoughts aren't really yours. There's something else. They're like that blind entity that's attached to you and been feeding off all your failures in life. And it's been feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding. And now it's this cloud warped around your consciousness telling you, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you might as well make yourself comfortable and go drink some alcohol instead of working on your project. Oh, you might as well go eat a pint of ice cream instead of running on the treadmill. Stuff like that. When you meditate, you notice those thoughts more. And when you pray, you're asking your higher self or God, whatever practice you practice, who you need to be. And it will show you by channeling through your crown chakra and giving you certain emotions to overcome this old frequency, to overcome the gaslighting of this trickster entity that has been following you around for ages. So those are the two techniques: mindfulness and prayer, that can help you combat this entity that I have found. And as you're doing that, as you're clearing it out, start taking action. Start taking that aligned action that source is showing you towards the goals you need to accomplish. And the more you accomplish those goals and see actual wins from them, see actual feedback that what you're doing works and this new identity is better, it leads to a better life. Once you start seeing that, then this old stuff will start fading away. But if you move full forward with your goals without even addressing this stuff, without doing any of these spiritual practices, then you won't be able to tap into your intuition. You might go to a networking event, but if you're run by trauma, there will be that voice saying, oh, you're not worthy, or no, you're not good enough to talk to that person, or just something weird like that. Or even if you do talk to that person, it will fumble you up as you're talking to that person. It will be like, no, because it wants to survive. So it will sabotage you as you're talking to that connection. And that connection will be like, okay, that guy was kind of weird, right? That chick was kind of weird. Because your old frequency sabotaged you, because it wants to stay alive. It wants you to feel like a failure. So it can keep causing you to seek comfort through those looping patterns, through those bad habits and those addictions. So seek source. Pray, meditate. To be honest, I don't pray that often. I basically just meditate because I'm more new age, but if you're religious, pray to God. And these are some of the things that has helped me clear this stuff out. And I feel so much more functional, so much more clear-headed as to what I need to do. I can pick up on synchronicity so much quicker, download so much quicker now that I've cleared a lot of this stuff out. So I hope this helped. Cheers.